Next week, we're going to have tonight's winner on. We're going to kick it off. We're going to get the details. We're going to get, I don't know the rules. I want to know the rules. So many questions. So we're going to go right to the top. And let's welcome the senior counsel of the Power Slap League, Frank Lamicella. Frank, how are you, sir?
Randy, how are you?
We appreciate your time. Very excited about tonight, but I'm just as excited to find out the rules, to find out what I'm about to watch tonight.
Yeah, so tonight you're going to see episode 1 of Power Slap Road to the Title airing on PBS. Episode 1 takes a deep dive into our March qualifier event that we held here in Vegas in 2022, which was really the first matches we've ever held for Power Slap. And it's going to show, the episode has Dana, Hunter Campbell, myself, and our coaches, Darius and Wolverine, recapping those fights and picking guys to go into the Power Slap cast out.
So let's start with, what are the rules? We've seen some of the video. The competitors' hands are behind them. They're holding some kind of apparatus. I mean, where can they be hit? How can they be hit? Is there a time limit to slap? We're starting from scratch here.
Yeah. So I'll start from scratch as well. So,
okay.
The competitors are brought onto the stage. You got blue corner, red corner, just like boxing, MMA. Someone goes first, and there's a coin toss to determine who goes first. So the coin toss is very important. Believe it or not, some guys actually choose to get slapped first, but most guys choose to slap first. So the referee brings the competitors to the table. There's batters boxes on the floor. You'll see blue and red batters boxes, which is where they need to stand. And the referee will instruct, whoever goes first, complete your first slap. And here's what you have to do. You have to declare your hand and declare your number. So if you want to go right-handed or left-handed, you say right hand, left hand. And you declare 1, 2, or 3. So 1 means no wind-up. You could just hit when you're ready. 2 means you line your hand up, you take 1 warm-up shot, and then you land on 2. And 3 means 2 wind-ups and landing on 3. After that, after the first slap is landed, the defender has 60 seconds to recover. What you'll see in the show is 2 30-second intervals, 30 seconds to recover, and 30 seconds to return a slap to the other competitor. And then it just goes back and forth until there's a finish for 3 or 5 rounds. If there's no finish, it goes to judges' scorecard, again, like most combat sports.
So I've been watching, just a little back, I've been watching slap fighting since the Russians were doing it like 2-3 years ago. It's been something fun for you see on YouTube. Now that it's becoming more mainstream and you're partnering with the UFC and Dana White, how does the scoring go if nobody is knocked out? Because there's some instances where you see guys get knocked out and they can't go anymore, right? So if everybody stands up, everybody stays up, how does the scoring go? And there's a lot of questions with MMA judges and scoring. So how does that work in the slap fighting?
Yeah, so a lot of people think all these matches end in a knockout or a finish, which isn't true. We actually have some back and forth battles. We got some wars up there. We got some crazy comebacks. If it goes to the judges' scorecard, there's 3 judges, and they're operating on a 10-9 must system again, which is common in combat sports, so fans will understand it. And the criteria is the effectiveness of the strike and the defender's recovery time and reaction. So a defender, the person getting slapped, can actually win a round if they sort of eat the shot from the striker and have and show that they're ready and recover quickly. So both sides can earn points in 1 round.
Let me ask you this, Frank: is it like baseball? Can you switch? Your first slap go right-handed and then come back left-handed?
Yeah, you can. Only a handful of competitors did that. I think maybe 1 or 2. Most are dominant in one hand or the other, and probably like to land on. If you go lefty, you're landing on the opposite side of the face. Right. So you could switch. There are rules though in the striking. For example, your feet, you can't step or pivot, so your feet are grounded through the strike, and you have to use a flat open hand. You can't lead with your palm or land on an area of the opponent's face that's not permitted. So no landing in the temple, no landing on the neck, no landing on the ear. It's really palm to cheek.
I'm curious, as a big fan of, we call me the unofficial, just because I want to be, right, the unofficial president of the Clay Guida fan club. Would Clay ever have to apply, or because he always gets slapped before his fight, would he be an automatic entrant?
Up to you, Clay. I mean, I think it's we'll see. I mean, you're right. The pre-match slap, he's probably got more experience than a lot of others, and we'll see. Hey, maybe it's an opportunity for Clay down the road. Never say never.
I vote the Diaz brothers.
Yeah, there you go. How did you find the competitors that are on this season of the Power Slap League?
Yeah, so we have a fantastic production company, Pilgrim Media Group. That's the same group that has done The Ultimate Fighter for the last 30, 40 seasons. So they're great at casting. We put out a casting call, and we got a lot of interest. More interest and more competitors than you'll see on the show. We obviously narrowed it down, but we're looking to grow this thing, and I think the group that we have here is extremely exciting. I know all the competitors and athletes that we have on the show, they view this as a huge opportunity for themselves, and we're really looking forward to it.
I don't want to get ahead of ourselves. Obviously the first episode tonight, we're going to watch the entire season. Do you foresee the Power Slap League going out and maybe the Friday night before a UFC, Power Slap on Friday, and then UFC on Saturday?
Yeah, listen, we're building this thing from the ground up. We're learning as we go. Right now we want to accomplish a few things, right? We want to educate fans about the sport. It's a brand new sport. They need to learn the rules, and that's a lot of what in the show on TBS. You'll see there's a big component about education. And then we want to give these athletes a platform to start building, their stardom, including, you guys have a local guy from Ruskin. He's actually one of our assistant coaches. His name is Damian DeBell. He goes by the Bell. He's a 21-year-old slap fighter who joined us a few months ago to be on the show. So a quick shout out to the Bell.
So Frank, I have so many questions, but I'll start with the basics. Are there weight classes for like the competitors? Is there male, female, or with the new social makeup, will there ever be a trans league or section?
So, the first thing we did here was get this thing regulated by the Nevada State Athletic Commission. So yes, there's weight classes. There's no big discrepancy in weight for any match. There's a male and female division. You'll see one of our female strikers, Tina Bathory, in tonight's episode, who also joined us as an assistant coach after her performance from March. The weight classes on the show are welterweight, middleweight, light heavyweight, and heavyweight, but we fully expect that to expand as we keep building this thing.
In some of the videos I've seen on YouTube before this league was developed, guys wear earplugs or put things in their ears. Are there, what are the rules on that for this league? Do you get to wear earplugs or, stick cotton in your ears to prevent the eardrums bursting and things of that nature? Yeah,
not only do you get to do it, but it's required. Again, it's one of the commission, requirements on health and safety. So everybody wears an approved mouth guard. Everybody gets these cotton earwicks to prevent, sort of eardrum issues or injuries. No hand jewelry, no head or face jewelry. Hair has to be pulled back. Facial hair is allowed. We got some guys with pretty gnarly beards, but long hair has got to be pulled back from the cheek. So that's the equipment.
If somebody gets a foul, say you hit somebody a little too high, you leave with the palm, do you get a re-slap or do you get a point deducted? How does that work?
Yeah, so there's really two categories of fouls. There's fouls on the defender side and fouls on the striker side. So on the defender side, the main foul is flinching, right? So moving before the strike lands. And if you flinch, the striker has the opportunity to strike again. However, if you flinch and you still get knocked out, that will be the end of the fight anyway. On the striker side, the big fouls are stepping. So like I said, you can't pivot or lift your feet in the strike. Sometimes what happens is when they're completing the strike, the heel comes up a little bit just due to the momentum of the strike. That's okay. You can't take large steps like a baseball pitcher or pivot like a boxer on the strike. And then so that's stepping. And then clubbing is really described as any sort of, leading with the palm or really any strike that's not a legal strike. And if you do any of those two things, there's a point deduction for the round and you lose your strike. So it's very impactful for scoring. And if you do any of those fouls and the other guy can't continue, that DQ loss.
What are the competitors holding behind them? And is it also, if they let go of that at a certain time, is that considered a foul?
Yeah, that's the power slap stick. Really, the purpose of it is to keep the right posture. So keeping the shoulders down. What we saw in some of the other slap content out there before we got started was a lot of guys would raise their shoulders before the strike was coming in, and it would impede the strike and block their face. So this is what we came up with to kind of hold defenders in the right place with the right posture.
Very good. We're really looking forward to tonight's episode, kicking off the weekly segment today. Frank, I want to thank you for your time. I know that we have your address. We're going to send you a care package from 8 Man Strong of some swag, along with some salsa from our new sponsor from West Virginia, Blue Smoke Salsa, some of the best salsa you've ever had in your life, for coming on and talking to us.
Awesome. Can't wait to try it. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Frank. We enjoyed it.
Have a good one.
Tonight on TBS.
Wow. I can't wait to see it. I'm excited.
Slap off.
See, Randy, you didn't even know I was so versatile. I even know the slap boxing, talk about soccer, basketball, baseball, a little iffy. But look at that. I knew the rules. I knew they had to wear
says sanctioned by the Nevada Athletic Commission. They're drug tested and USADA tested.
Wait, they're drug tested?
They have to be if it's a sanctioned event, right?
I would imagine if it was sanctioned.
Oh, no, I want the slap boxers to be like the jiu-jitsu guys.
Well, honestly,
to the gills.
And
steroid up, man.
And that's what I said about baseball too. I want them juiced.
Yeah.
I want a 900-foot home run. I don't care. I just don't want it in a combat sport.
After the break, I got a technique that can help you guys get on growth hormone naturally.
All right, let's go ahead and break. Coming to you live